All right, Juanitosville, we are back working on some copper today. I have made a few of these copper bracelets in the past, and they're pretty popular. There's a lot of medicinal and health reasons to use copper in jewelry. Anti-inflammatory, it helps with the immune system. The Egyptians used it for medicine and for science for a long time, and people don't like copper a lot because of the fact that it's a semi-precious metal, I think, and it just doesn't have the same prestige as gold or as silver. But copper is awesome, guys, and it's fun to work with. It's a little trickier to work with, I think, than sterling silver. Today we're going to do a bracelet. It's I got 12 gauge square wire right here, and then I got some, I believe this is 16 gauge round wire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make three threads, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it in my vise, and the other end we're going to have in the drill, and we're going to twist and see what we come up with. So I'm tightening this. Come on, Johnny, let's get it. Really? Okay. Come on, I'm looking dumb for my friends now. I look smart. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Give it a closer gander. Sometimes you do this and it focuses. That actually looks pretty cool. Alrighty, friends, here we are, man. I just did these probably 5 minutes, not even less than 5 minutes. And we're gonna put silver cuffs on the ends of these. All right, friends, I wonder if you guys are wondering why the lighting is a little bit different than on all my other videos. It's because here in Western Colorado, it's finally warm, man. Oh, I'm telling you, this winter has been the longest, coldest, bitterest winter ever. I'm gonna be one of those old guys. I'll be like, remember the winter of 23? Oh. Okay, so I have this big old hammer that I got for 50 cents at the yard sale. We're gonna give it some flats. Don't hit your finger. Okay, so we got all of these. Now I'm gonna use my smaller, more civilized tools. Big old hammer scares me. Like, oh, you like your fingers? Oh, I think otherwise. Okay, let's see. What would you guys use if you guys were me? Which I'm sure you're glad you're not. If there's any outliers here, if I can bend them in a little bit. All right, guys, so I think the next thing we're going to do, friends, is I'm going to put this, and then I'm going to make it long enough so that it folds over like a taco. And then I'm going to seal these in there. And that's going to be the goal. So let's move on to that step. Okay, I got this 26 gauge. I'm going to utilize as much of this silver as possible. Handy dandy. And I think that should give us enough for 2 ends and maybe more. On to the cutting. 26 gauge is pretty easy to cut with your shears. Usually thicker than 26. 24 I'll often use a saw, and 26 usually I'll use shears. 20 I almost always use a saw, and then 18 of course definitely a saw. So just handle the warpage from the shears. Let's see where we're at. We're at 5.5. I think, oh, I measured these at 5.5. That's right. So if I have to trim a little bit of these outliers off at each edge, I can. And yeah, dude, so we're gonna go right there. We're gonna cut that off. Oh, the birds are singing, friends. The birds are singing out there. I'm all about it. See how this one is not flat? 2 pliers. Probably give it a little half a twist. Let's give it a little half a twist, Johnny. Boom, just like that, little half a twist. So these sit flat, these sit flat. Boom. So we're sitting kind of nice right there, friends. All right, guys, I think we're ready to move on to the next step. Let's start cutting, getting these silver edges. I put 925 on the silver parts of it so that they know that it's not nickel, because some people have like serious allergies to nickel, and nickel is often used with copper because they're both very inexpensive. So I put the 925 on the cuff ends so that the person knows that if they're having that, they're wearing that cuff, that it's sterling and on the edges and not nickel. Just so people don't go home and have an allergic reaction to my jewelry, and then they'll say bad things about me on the internet, and that won't be fun. All right, with this thickness of copper, I decided I think I'm gonna go with 30 millimeters, 30 mil. As real jewelers say, 30 mil. So we're about 12 millimeters at the top, maybe 13 millimeters at the top. That gives a few millimeters for the bend, and then another and it doesn't have to be perfect, another 12 to go over. So if you do the math, that's about 30 millimeters. All right, Juanitosville, I have my square here. So I've done these in the past, as I mentioned, and one thing that I learned is, well, cake the inside of this with solder, the inside of that side with solder, so when you bend it over, then because I've done it where I didn't do that first, I try to put solder on here and then bend it and then get it, and then it was just a really big pain in the buttocks. Kind of like that, you're doing that, and then and then maybe put solder right there. I know that's a lot, but I know you guys are smart out there. You guys know what I'm saying. So we have like the beginnings here. If these fold over, then they won't be as uncomfortable. That I snipped off the tips of these, and it landed right there, and then I put this down to flatten it after I sheared it, and there was a piece of copper on there, and it made a dent right on my stuff. I tried to sand it out, and like my daddy used to always say, you don't throw away a Rolls Royce just because it has a dent in it. All right, here they are, guys. We'll do some solder tinning. All right, wild stallions. Boom, 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 boom. I ain't playing, I'm just saying. I wonder if I should use my Genius wire. Can I do both on the Genius wire at the same time? Possibly, yeah. All right, friends. Nothing irritates me. Well, a lot of things irritate me, but whenever I have a piece of solder and I'm bringing it to where I need it and it slips out of the tweezers and goes flying, that just chaps my hide. I guess we're gonna have to be okay with that. We're gonna let those cool off. We're not gonna kiss them yet because our lips will stick to them. But we're gonna let them chill out, and then we're gonna get ready to bend around the copper twisties and keeping it happening, man. Right here, this is one of them. I bent it. I put it in my vise. I measured that line in the middle there. You can see I measured it 15 mil, which was half of 30. Alrighty, Juanitosville, we are here. I hope you have a good focus. This is what I'm going for. One at a time, like a real person, not like a impatient teenager. Okay, so that's obviously pretty wide. I didn't think of that. Alrighty, Juanitosville, we're here, and this is where we're at, guys. Got the silver edges. Feeling pretty good about that. I'm going to do one at a time. I'm going to do this edge first and see if I can get this to fit a little tighter, but yeah, I'm going to be cool with that. And then once I get that set, then we will focus on the other edge. All right, friends, so my thinking here is that if I attack it from the top and then the bottom here, the top, bottom, I can get them to, hopefully I can get them to marry. Let's go for this. I put this block back here just to give it some weight because it kind of wanted to teeter-totter a little bit. I do it too big, too big, too big. I do it too big, too big, too big. I do it too big. Some bad truck in a farmer's field. Somebody bank, better bank, better bank, better bank. Do anybody know that song? Who does that song? I love that song. Down here in Western Colorado, should we listen to country music sometimes? Heck yeah, boy. Let's believe in that for now. Let's believe in that for now, guys. We'll let that cool off and take a gander. All right, friends. Looks like we have a nice seal. It's on there good. So I'm gonna get my rawhide mallet, and I'm gonna mallet hammer down these edges and see what that looks like. I may add some solder in those edges once they're done, and I file them down and get them like, and I'll probably soften these corners up as well. Beautiful weather here in Western Colorado, friends. I'm not sure where you guys are from. I know we have somebody from New Zealand that's part of our kind of Juanitosville family. I know we have one of my people that I really interact with a lot, Noble Art Dimensions. She's from Arizona. She's pretty cool chick, actually. But if you guys are like jewelry and like exploring and doing jewelry adventures, I'm your guy, man, because I'm really about that. And if you do jewelry adventures, let me know. I want to be on your jewelry adventures. I could learn by watching you guys. I had to share this real quick. Starting your day with an early morning run is a great way to make sure your day can't get any worse than it started. Oh, some people on the internet are just hilarious. Okay, guys, we have this. Dude, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to heat the other side. Give it the old take it to Pound Town action. And then see what we're working with. It's getting those edges to pinch down. And see that little crease in that pinch? I'm going to put a little ball of solder right there. Very nice, guys. That feels way more comfortable. So right here on these edges, guys, not only does this clean the surface for the solder to run, if there's a slight, one of the edges is slightly higher, as you can see right there, that edge is slightly higher. This will, this is a good opportunity, a good chance to make that right. Alrighty, you wily teenagers. All right, let's show you guys how we're gonna seal this. I already did two, and I might edit those ones out. They were pretty good, but I think I kind of got a hang for it, and maybe you guys will learn from me getting a hang of it instead of learning from me doing it like a bozo. Just doing our best out here, just trying to have fun and make jewelry. Keeps me off the street road raging. I'm of the opinion that road rage is good for your health because it gives you a chance to, you know, kind of just get that kind of out of your system, you know. I think we all need to scream at our windshields once in a while, you know. It's good for our blood pressure. Oh man, I gotta pull up next to anybody driving like an idiot just to see if they look as stupid as they drive. Am I alone, friends? Am I alone? You just have to look this, and then you're like some little old lady on oxygen. You're like, oh, I feel terrible now. Then you look back and she's smoking a cigarette, and you're like, you are as dumb as you drive. You say it to your windshield, not to her. That would be mean. That's somebody's grandma, friends. Okay, I can see the solder wanting to respond right now. I got my tweezers in case I need to do a pinch. Come on, dudes. I know if my heat was just a little higher, but I'm so like into the game at this point, I don't really want to put my pick down. It's going in there. It's going into the seam. We're going to give it a little cake. We'll go spread it like frosting. Spit it like frosting, give it a little squeeze right here. Spit it like frosting, give it a little squeeze. Heat off. Wham blam. Okay. I used to not be able to talk and do jewelry, but now it feels like I want to explain everything, and then sometimes like random thoughts come into my head as I'm doing this, and I'm sure you guys are the same. You guys are like, huh, I wonder. But usually I do kind of talk to myself in silence, I guess. Is that weird? But I think as jewelers, I think we all kind of, we're in our own zone. Whether we're listening to music or we're sitting in silence. The zen, the flow state. That looks like a pretty good seal there. Good seal there. Good seal there. A little questionable on that very, very corner there, but I'm not going to trip. And a nice seal there. So yeah, dudes. We're going to, I think I'm going to put this in the pickle and just get all this kind of tarnish stuff off of it. And then I'll start kind of doing some more sanding and then running it through the wheels. And we'll probably do the polishing process prior to bending. So that's what's next, friends. So yeah, guys, this is it. I'm going to sand this a little bit more, get it as smooth as possible. I did go with the mallet and I hit it again. I didn't reheat it. I didn't have to. I think everything's in there. It feels really solid. But I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup, just superficial cleanup on it. Sanding, filing, and probably nothing in here besides just getting it ready for polishing. And yeah, this is it, guys. So thanks for sticking around and watching the making of this cool cuff copper bracelet. Lots of health benefits in copper. Some people like it, some people don't. It makes your wrist green if you sweat with it. Some people care, some people don't. If you don't like that, you could always put a covering lacquer over it so that it won't bleed into your skin, like on the other side, underside of it. But I think that would block the medicinal properties of the copper if you did that. So just be aware of that, guys. Thanks again. Bam Boom. I'm here doing my thing, and thanks for sticking around. As always, if you found any value with this video, please subscribe, and maybe be notified for whenever new videos drop. Thanks, guys. As always, you guys are Juanitosville. I'm Bam Boom. You guys are my tribe. Thanks. Peace. All right, Juanitosville, this is going to be the way I'm going to end the videos from now on. Is at the end, I'm going to talk about what I learned throughout the process. So number one thing I learned was to make these end caps shorter. These end caps are about 15 millimeters. And as you can see, they don't really want to bend into the cuff. I mean, they look pretty good. I think this is going to work, but it'd be nice if they were a little bit shorter so that cuff can really hug the wrist a little bit better, because they're kind of at an angle like this. And that's not ideal. Another thing I learned and I talked about in the video was not using 26 gauge, because when you use 26 gauge, it's so thin that when you hammer it, it really shows a lot. And that kind of leads to what else I learned was to not only make the end cap shorter, but to file the ends of the copper a little bit to a slope, kind of a slope, so that this is a smoother feel inside the end cap so that it's not so pokey. That's why that looks like that. Yeah, that was another thing that I learned. And I also learned to polish these at the end of the process. I polished this while it was still flat, and then I had to beat on it a little bit, and then, I don't know, I just feel like I should have polished it last. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much what I learned throughout this process, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, subscribe, like, comment. I like to learn what you guys are learning and share ideas, and that's what this is all about. Jewelry adventures, man. Let's make it happen. I'm out.